I'm back. I figured my little break from making videos for all of you to watch would be longer, but I feel a lot better now, and I just kind of want to move on from, what the last video I recorded was all about. It hasn't really been long for you since I've been uploading some videos after I announced that little break, but it's been nearly 2 weeks since I recorded a new video, so it feels long for me because I usually do these every other day or whatever. Anyway, by the time I upload this video, we will be 7 days into 2020 and 7 days into this new decade. And the fact that we're in a new decade, and the 2010s are now behind us, you know, I've been kind of dwelling on that ever since we entered 2020, really. Where will I be by the end of this decade? By December 31st, 2029, which is a very, very weird year to say and think about. But then again, in 2010, I'm sure the year 2019 was weird and was weird to say and think about. But anyways, by the time we make it to then, I just wonder, where will I be by then? I just have no clue, and it's been dwelling in my mind for the longest time. I just really want to let this out. I know this isn't really an entertaining video or really a very exciting topic. I don't know, maybe it's a topic that all of you could relate to, but this is just something I feel like letting out in video form. Anyway, I just wonder, what will I do with my life during this decade? Will this decade bring a lot of change? Will I do many amazing things in this decade? Or will this decade be absolute shit? Will everything go wrong? Will a lot of bad things happen? Like, for example, my cat Debbie died just recently. I'm almost certain that the three cats that live with me are going to die within this decade because they were born in, well, Charlie and Timmy were born in 2008. Theo was born in 2009. So there will be 20 if they actually reach it to those years. You know, that's something I kind of dread. The Debbie dying really hit me hard in the sense that, my cats are getting there in age. They might not have a whole lot of time left. They might not have a whole lot of years left in them. God knows how old Debbie was, but anyways, I've been dwelling on a lot of things like that, and not just about my pets or anything, about life in general. Well, will I be successful? Because by the time this decade is over, I will be 28 years old. 2 years removed from 30. That is very, very scary to think about. I know, I'm only 18. I shouldn't dwell on being old at this point in my life, but time just moves by so damn quickly. Like, the 2010s just flew the fuck by. Like, I remember so clearly when we were in the tail end of 2009, going into 2010. I was so excited for the new decade. I remember so clearly the New Year's party that we held in December 31st, at the night of December 31st, 2009, going into January 1st, 2010. I remember that so clearly, and to think that is now 10 years ago. 2010 is 10 years ago. The first year I remember so clearly. For some reason, it just scares the hell out of me and really just puts into perspective how time can just go just like that. Life can go just like that. And I've tried talking about this with family and other people I know in real life, and they just kind of dismiss my worrying as, you're just being pessimistic. Things will go completely fine for you in this decade. You'll find success. You'll live a happy life. You'll do the things you really want to do this decade, yada yada yada. And I'm like, how do you know? How do you know this decade is going to be amazing for me? Do you have a crystal ball that can tell you the future of anyone you want, and you can accurately say without a shred of doubt, oh yes, things are going to go amazing for you in this span of time. Do not worry, you don't know. You don't know jack shit. And I'm not claiming that I know either, but I'm just naturally pessimistic like this. For all I know, I could look back at this video in 2030 and be like, I so wish I was living in 2020 again, so I could relive all the amazing things that went down for me in that decade. Who the fuck knows? And the fact that people are talking about World War III and the Iran thing, and just this early into the decade, not even 10 days into the decade. Yeah, it really does foreshadow how this decade is probably going to go down for us, doesn't it? But alas, we're in a new decade, whether you like it or not. This is the decade where I kind of sort of have to get my shit together because, trust me, there's a lot of things I would love to change about myself that, you know, that I really didn't like about myself for really my whole life. And this really seems like the opportune decade to do it because this is the decade where I'm gonna graduate college, get a job, and officially start my life, my independent life. More than likely, who knows? Maybe I'll just be, for all I know, 10 years from now, I'll still be living in my, living here in my room, making these videos in my spare time, doing nothing with my life. Who knows? Anyway, I know this is a depressing video to kick the decade off with, but again, this is just something that's been lingering in my mind for about a week now, so I just wanted to let this all out, talk about it to my microphone, essentially to myself, because the people who I discuss this with just tell me shit that honestly just frustrates me, so sometimes it's better just to talk to yourself about some things. And I am certain you are used to this channel being negative and depressing at this point anyway. At least you really should be. Anyway, I really have nothing else to say here. That's all I have to say. Bye bye.